So, and then we take the cake, but we do not do that foo-foo part. Yeah, yeah, you know why? Someday, at least what I know is like extinguishing is bad. Not no, it's a symbol of light, so you should not be blowing the candle. Just put it. That's one. The second thing is take a mirror and try to do some foo-foo. You will see some droplets also. Now, do you want to give your droplets to the whole party? Now, third part. If you ever give your droplets to somebody else, just know that you are receiving their karma. अगर आप किसी को अपना झूठा देते हो, you are accepting their karma. So for the birthday boy, girl, child, anybody, it is a bad idea to accept the karma of the whole party because you do not know who is in the party. Do you see how many dimensions are there? So we'll just say clap, 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 हाथ से करेंगे ऐसे ऐसे. But we will not uh, blow air on the cake. Today we are joined by Yeshumati Mataji. Mataji is the mother of the congregation. She feeds us every weekend. And now I'm under stress whether I'm going to speak correctly. Mataji, keep me in check. If I may, I've only heard so many glories. And I had a desire to attend some of your classes. Sometimes I don't get the opportunity. Yeah. Because I'm with other kids or somebody. But today I have had the opportunity because many classes cancelled. Okay, why not? Thank you. Thank you for this. So we have these four problems. We went through the details. This is the memory jogger that the problems are real. Anyone who thinks these problems are not real? Skimming through that quickly. At the point of death, that moment is horrible, and we have viewed it unlimited number of times. Unlimited number of times. As if that is not enough, there are three types of troubles. Like we covered that also. Mind and body, some other living entity. Any good examples of who else troubles us? Very famous relationships. घर घर की कहानी क्या सास भी कभी बहू थी. And I feel most of the family trauma in India is propagated by those serials. Because everybody goes over there with notebook and pen saying that what should be my trick and how to kind of overtake my mother-in-law or daughter-in-law. Adhidevika, you can get your mind and body under control. You can get people around you under control. But then you cannot get Mother Nature under control. Now, what do we say in the Northwest? It is not a question whether the earthquake will happen or not. It's a question of when it will happen. Many times these windows, they stop working on doors because the frames realign a little bit. Because the minor earthquakes are always going on. And if you own the house in this area, just know that it does not cover the earthquake. So our life's earning could be moments away from getting destroyed. And if we survive in that, that is awesome. Right? Then have you seen the website? 3 days, 3 ways. So, when you basically, how would you survive in case of earthquake for 3 days without any supply, external supply of water and food and gas and all that? You should have enough food and water and everything for 3 days for your family. So when I'm studying those courses, because my wife runs a child school, and there is a CPR and first aid and this and that, a lot of government information. So part of that is when I'm learning all that, saying that okay, you're supposed to prepare for 3 days and all that. It just reminds me of our syllabus that these people are more aware that life is trouble. Right? Doctors help But then doctors themselves also go through trouble. Muhammad Ali thought, I am the greatest. And the end realization was, I am the greatest fool. Pharmaceutical industry, I mean, if we have to put faith somewhere, we end up putting it on the pharmaceutical industry. But only they know what's going on. We are closest. We are closest. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, fish out of water. We talked about it. And if we are going to an island somewhere, we might even prepare where we are going, right? And our family members, friends are disappearing slowly. But we think I am going to be here for ever. Just like the goat with green grass, it's as long as I get my grass, life is good. This is where we stopped last time. Are you ready? Are you eager? Are you anxious to see the solution? All right. We suffer the threefold miseries and four real problems of life because we have turned away from God and acting sinfully against God's laws. Just like child leaving the custody of the parents. Hare Krishna, what's your name? Sri Hari. When my son was younger than this, he just started running. Wherever we take him, wherever, okay? Like mall or airport, wherever, he would leave our finger and run like a rocket. And then he would go into the mall. The mall, there are all clothes are hanging, right? And he would go under them. Now there is no way. He's out of sight, literally. How do you find him? It was a big mess. Okay. So I also have a method of parenting. So I worked out with my wife once, and then we were in Walmart, huge space, empty space. He started running like crazy. We did a hide behind the corner. He ran like anything. Then he looked back that we are chasing him or not. Like we're not there. Oh, the expression changed. From very, very naughty, mischievous, this, that, to it's like very miserable. It's like, where are my parents? And we are watching it carefully. And after he realized, even for 10 seconds, his mother could not hold back. She was like, no, I can't put my child in anxiety. And then she went and grabbed him. So the whole idea is that that little experience, real life experience we went through, is exactly what happens to the eternal soul coming away from God and going back. We leave our God's hand and we run away from Him, thinking that I'm going to have gala time. Then we are far away from God. We realize now I'm in trouble. When we are in trouble, we say, oh God, where are you? And then we go back. Now, on the material timelines, it may look like millions of lifetimes, it may look like billions of years. But on the spiritual timeline, because we are eternal in nature and sitting in this body which lasts only 100 years, it's very hard to figure out what does eternity means. Because eternity really means eternity. In that, this experience of going away and coming back is like a flash. And all we remember was it was a bad idea. Then we don't do it again because we learned it was a bad idea. But while we are in this material body and measuring time at this level, it feels like we're ever away from, forever away from God. But spiritually speaking, we just need to realize we have made a mistake and we should just have desire to connect back. And God is more eager than we are, more anxious than we are, just respecting our free will to be away from. How do you know that we are using our free will to be away from God? Now that you are completing this course, kindly go and prepare 5 of your friends to learn Bhagavad Gita. To prepare 5 friends, you will need to speak to 50 friends. That time you'll realize we're actually consciously keeping ourselves away from God. By default, we won't realize. We may feel everybody's nice, they come to temple, life is good. But we are consciously keeping ourselves away from God. God is respecting our free will to be away from Him. So it is matter of our free will. The control is in our hands, and we are consciously keeping ourselves away from real happiness, and we are falling for it. It's because we are in this hypnosis called as I am this body. And because we are believing I am this body, we're trying to enjoy happiness at a bodily platform. That is where we are missing it. If we go back to our spiritual existence, spiritual alignment, spiritual paradigm, spiritual realization, and we live life like a spiritual soul, we will have more happiness, more freedom in this life, and we'll have complete and eternal happiness at the point of death. A spiritual person, with every sunrise and every sunset, comes closer to seeing God face to face. Every sunrise, every sunset, we are closer to seeing God face to face at the point of death. A person who is not God conscious, is not spiritual, is breaking the laws of nature that we are seeing. It's closer to their hellish life and punishments every sunrise and every sunset. That is why people are scared at the point of death because they have done a lot of wrong things. And a person who is living a very spiritual life is actually anxious and eager and waiting for that moment because that is the moment of liberation. And that moment could be any moment in our life. It is not like it is absolutely 100 years away, 50 years away. It is not like that. It could be 5 minutes away. Like, there is literally a war brewing there. And say if a nuke hits in a town you are, the whole town goes dead, right? People who are living a complete spiritual life, they are immediately in the spiritual world. Whereas people who are breaking all kinds of rules, they are heading for their punishment. So, how serious this matter is, and how lightly our education system takes it. Did we learn in our schooling, college, MBA, Stanford, MIT, everywhere, that I'm not in this body? I mean, how obvious it is. No. So let's see what the real solutions are. That's why we are thankful to the spiritual teachers who kept this knowledge safe and brought it in the parampara, and it will propagate. Many a times it is a lifelong sacrifice of those people in the middle who retain this knowledge and transport it to the next generation. Okay, so material problems and spiritual solutions. What is it going on, right? We'll look at this. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grahanti naroparani तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि सम्याति नवानि देहि. Bhagavad Gita 2.22. Many of you have Bhagavad Gita, yes. You are the soul. The body, your body is just like the shirt. As a person puts on new dresses, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. To the point, how I looked at age 2 or age 2 weeks is not how I look now. And that is not how I will look at age 90. Correct? That means the body is changing all the time. To the point, the cells in our body, every 7 or 8 years, they replenish. They keep the old cells keep dying, the new cells are born. So every 7, 8 years, we have brand new body. Isn't it nice? But the soul remains the same. Soul is not changeable. Soul remains the same. So that means we are used to changing the body all the time. Just at the point of the death also, it will change the body only. But that time we get bewildered. Right? And that is what Bhagavad Gita says. Because your body is changing all the time, and it is changing at the point of death also, one should not be disturbed at the point of death. right? Dhira. The word dhira is used in Bhagavad Gita is one who can see death and not get perplexed, our own or somebody else's. We may miss a person in our life. It could be our loved ones, family members. We may miss the association of that person. But that is same as when we are traveling to America, we are not going to see a dear family member. We may cry with them saying that I'm not going to see you for a year. I'm not going to see you for 5 years, whatever. Right? That separation is different than thinking that now this person is dead, now what will happen? Right? So this is the spiritual paradigm. We're going to talk about it. Um, it may be shocking for some of us, and that is okay. What happens at the point of death? Big question, right? The soul leaves the gross body behind and is taken to another womb based on the quality of the desire stored in one's subtle body at the point of death. We have seen the, so think of like the person changing the vehicles or changing shirts. Now one may say, so that means if I go and kill somebody, it is just like changing their shirt. So it's okay, right? No, it is not okay. Because the judge may change your shirt after that. If you are ready that your shirt will be changed, then you can change somebody's shirt. Otherwise, don't change somebody's shirts. Yeah? I'm just making sure that we don't take any incorrect conclusions out of the spiritual knowledge. What happens to us at the point of death? We talked about that. The spirit soul moves from one body to another. It says based on the desire stored in the subtle body. What is subtle body? Mind, intelligence, and false ego. Three things. What is mind? Somebody remind me. It's a database in which we have desires stored for future and we have experience stored from past. Correct? So that is the mind. And then there is one more thing. Intelligence. Intelligence is ability to discriminate between the good and bad. Yes. And third thing is false ego. False ego means conviction. I am this body. These three things, that mind has those desires for future. So if somebody wants to let you go to this tiger mountain where people are parasailing all the time, la 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 la, pulling the ropes all the time, hovering in the air for hours, what do you think their future life is? Right? God says, you want to be a bird, we'll make you a bird. Now, there is a desire and deserve. The desire is I want to fly. Deserve is how high you can fly, which bird you will become. So some people may become eagle and they can soar high in the mountains and stay like that forever. And they are also the top chain of the food chain. They are at the top. Means nobody beats them. They go after everybody. But if the karma is not strong enough for that person, desires to fly, one may become cockroaches. So cockroaches to fly, doesn't matter. But where does it stay? What does it eat? How does it look? The whole thing is karma based. So desire and deserve, life after life, all gets fulfilled in proportion to what do I deserve. For example, in Puget Sound area, we all have our homes, apartments, bungalows, mansions, multi-family houses, condos, whatever you have. Now there are two dimensions of it, right? One is what do I desire? Now you may desire in this direction. Then you have to check your pocket and say, what do I deserve? And then you have to cut it. This is where I am, right? In the karma cycle, wherever we are, that is where we enjoy that. One may want to live in the governor's house, may leave the body thinking that I want to leave the governor's house. Next life, the person becomes a rat at the middle of the night, walking around. This is my house, this is my house. Yes, it is governor's house. Yes, you are living in the governor's house, but as a rat. So be careful of how your desires get completed. There was a European um, queen who basically went to Nostradamus, the famous astrologer, and said that what is the future of my three sons? He said all three will become kings, and she was so happy. She thought they're going to conquer three countries and three kings. Like the first one died because of some accident, the second became the king, the second died because of war or something, third became the king. So she was very unhappy after that. Actually. But when she got the news, She was happy, but how it manifested, how karma will make it happen. Like one may say, my kids should become the richest people in the world. Yeah, but what if you are born next life as a poor person next to them and they say, hey, that thoda hai, maan le kya? You're like, at the soul level, you are suffering. Why this rich person is so arrogant? But the soul is learning the lesson that I only made him rich. And I did not spend time doing spirituality. I was only focused on money, 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 money. And now what is happening is I'm only the sufferer of that. So the law of karma plays a lot of games with the soul, especially if it is in the mood of I want to enjoy at a bodily level. Every moment there is trouble on. For example, was it Taimurlang or Muhammad Ghazni who at the point of death asked his servant to bring all the wealth looted from India. And the person got all the gold and everything laid out at the point of death. So, and this guy started crying. I mean, he made the whole world cry. Now he's crying. So the servant said, you asked me for your wealth to be seen and now you're crying. Yeah, now I have to leave it here only. So no matter how much you accumulate, at the end of life, you have to leave it here only. So please be careful. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam nityajanti ante kalevaram tam tameva iti kaunteya satatat bhava bhavitaha. Bhagavad Gita 8.6. Why do we give reference there? So you can check on me. ये सच बोल रहा है कि नहीं? भरोसा नहीं है. Whatever state of being one remembers when one quits one's body, oh son of Kunti, that state one will attain without fail. Not only Krishna is saying you'll achieve it, it doesn't leave any ambiguity. It's without fail. No exceptions. So now, if our life ends now, just process for 10 seconds. What will be the thought in your mind? Let's process first 10 seconds and pretend you have a clock. And anybody wants to share what will be the last thought? The guys are thinking, I should have taken care of the property management in such a way that it seamlessly goes to the loved ones. That is one dimension. Somebody may say, I wish I was with my near and dear ones, hugging them, seeing them, saying them one last goodbye. I did not get time to grieve. Some people may say, I love somebody, but I never told them I love them. I was always fighting, like siblings and all that. But fighting, 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 fighting. Never took the time to look into their eyes and say, I love you beyond anything. We never take out that time to say that. So think of it, all these imperfect relationships that we're living, where we know there is something that I need to do and I'm keeping it for future. I would say when you go home, pick up phone with those. Don't wait for that moment. Why do people cry? People cry when somebody leaves is because this I want to do something for you never happened into the I did it. Right? That is why go and make those relationships complete. That means checking out from here and go to India for 3 months. That's fine. But the point is live your life your way. Don't live it out of pressure and all that. Because we are human beings and we want a supportive a complete relationship. Say, for example, if some old person goes through very long disease cycle and their children really take care of them in the last few years and the person leaves the body, the children will be unhappy because the person left, but they have the satisfaction that I have done everything properly. What happened? The relationship is complete because they offered all the love and service that they want to offer for that person. The good news is we really never disappear or die. We're just out of sight. The death means now the person is moved out of sight, just like your kids can go to college, they're out of state, but you're shipping all the money and you are sending them all the good wishes. Like that, even those loved ones who have left us have not really gone forever. They're just out of sight. That means we can help them. How do we help them? If we become spiritually empowered, we are able to help them also by sending some spiritual credits. Spiritual credits are very portable, just like wiring the money, right? It's possible. So that is why we're learning at soul level what is possible. Otherwise, you can live a life of frustration if some loved ones are departed and we couldn't do something for them. At this point in time, we can definitely do something for them. For example, this was long time back. Uh, so I was in the USA. I got a phone call that one of my relatives, young guy, he got into accident, terrible accident, and is going through surgery and all that. So I landed in Mumbai. I saw a whole family tree, like 50 people gathered in the waiting lodge, and they all were like very morose. अभी क्या करूं? कुछ नहीं कर सकते. We cannot do anything. Doctors are doing their job. And we're just looking at each other as if we're so helpless. So I said, okay, let's make circles, five people, and chant Hare Krishna for 10 minutes. And every 10 minutes we say, we are offering this good activity to our relative who is in trouble. And they kept doing that for a whole day, and they kept doing it day after day. And the feedback later on, many of them became devotees. They started reading Bhagavad Gita after that experience. And they said, we were going through extreme frustration that I'm not able to do something for him. And then we found that we can do something for him. So, do you see the power of the spiritual knowledge? It goes from frustration to excitement that I can do something. I have control in my hand. So, that is why this knowledge of soul, knowledge of karma, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is very empowering and refreshing. So, so what is happening? I told you, right? How you become cockroach and how I become eagle and all. So that's this slide is talking about it. Desires in your mind and the karma. Now, what is law of karma then? Because if we get our future based on our karma, now I need to understand the rules of the game, right? So as you sow, so shall you reap. Have you ever seen that you put a mango seed and what comes out is pineapple? So nature is perfect. Whatever is input, only that will come out. That means that what is this Maya? Maya is the state of hypnotism in which we really believe I am this body. So Harivilas Maharaj, our spiritual authority, I learned Bhagavad Gita from him 20 years back. And literally like one-on-one setting. Every night we used to study for 2-3 hours. It went on for a year. And in a year, we only covered the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. Right? Why? He's so deep in his knowledge of Bhagavad Gita that he could show me every line of introduction passage is a direct translation of some shloka somewhere. So when we were covering introduction, we had done Bhagavad Gita 50 times maybe. We have gone back and forth, other books, references, come back. So he explained it very nicely. Um, what is Maya? We talk about Maya. Right? Maya means we really believe in man, his body. But he gave a nice definition. Maya literally means that which is not. You end up believing something that is not true. But Maharaj gave me such a nice definition that stayed with me. That said, okay, let me know if this is correct or not. If somebody is doing mistake, they should suffer. Raise your hand if that is true. They should not suffer. They should suffer. No, raise your hand clearly. If somebody is doing mistake, they should suffer. Yes. Now I'll bring you to the second part. I am suffering not because of my faults. That is my. Now go home, process this. Others should suffer because they are doing wrong things. I am suffering not because of my faults. This is my. The more you think, the deeper it goes. Actually, every action has equal and corresponding reaction. Newton's law. Now some are instant and some are delayed. Right? Instant is some street fight or something or children fighting or something. That is instant. And delayed is like it may come after some time. It could be moments, it could be minutes, it could be months, it could be years, it could be lifetimes. For example, it's cartoon is distracting, so I'll just move the slide and tell you. Uh, Dhritarashtra. He asked Krishna, what was my fault? 100 sons died. One child is killed. It is very inauspicious. 100 sons are killed. And they are all powerful warriors, this and that. What was my fault? And Krishna told him 50 lifetimes back, you were a hunter who would kill the birds in a very mean way. So you had accumulated so much of bad karma, but you couldn't be punished because you didn't even, you have to have something to lose it first. So to have a child also, you need to have good karma. So 50 lifetimes you behaved okay and you earned some good karma. 50 lifetimes of good karma, you got 100 sons, but that karma caught up with you and you lost your 100. So karma can catch us even why? It does not forget, does not forgive. There is no mercy over there. It is only mathematics. So the part we need to understand, if we want to be forgiven for all the bad work we have done in millions of lifetimes, there has to be a method. And the first part of that method is kindly forgive people around you. Say, for example, this child comes crying and says that somebody beat me and all that. I also gave a punch and all that. And then you say, okay, can you forgive? He said, no, I will not forgive that person. That if you don't forgive, then the child is also not going to forgive you. Then the teachers cannot forgive you because now the fight is still on. You understand? So if we want God to forgive us for our bad karma, then we start by example. So we need to show God that I'm a good person, right? We need to forgive other people. That is very hard. Why? By memory, what do we remember? We remember all the insults. We remember somebody troubled us. We may or may not remember good things that, but we definitely remember bad moments. That is our nature. So forgiving is actually relieving ourselves of that bad cost. It's action reaction. Also, somebody is hitting me with a stick and I'm getting angry at the stick. Is that very intelligent? You should look at the person behind it. So the law of karma is hitting me through a person. I am getting angry at the person. That person is only becoming the instrument of delivering that karma to me. It's like the money order or the delivery of your pizza. That person is only delivering. Why are we angry at the delivery person? So that is why we are supposed to forgive also. Say that this person is only the delivery mechanism for my karma. I need to heal my karma. My experience will automatically get better. Right? Does that help? Any questions?
Then is it like always this like same question? It's like what is the tolerance level? That is one question. Like is it like you are going to forget all the time, forgive all the time? Or the second question is
Very good question. It's asked
it's the murders, rapes are happening. Okay? So is it the ladies, the girls karma, or the murder is happening? Is it their karma, or is it like the person who is doing that thing?
very good. Both questions are very good. See, sometimes the crime is so horrible that we don't even talk about karma. You understand? Because karma is supposed to be applied in the context of how I take it. So somebody gets into accident on the road, right? And they're like, help, help. And we say, karma. Will that help? No. You go, you'll run help, you'll 911, you'll give them CPR, first aid, everything without thinking of karma. Right? Karma is for knowledge, is for self processing. Karma knowledge is to be used for self processing about why I am suffering. When others are suffering, we are supposed to apply compassion and help. Help them what you can to your capacity. Going back to your first question, what is the tolerance level? Right? That is your capacity. If you are spiritually elevated, you can forgive more.
Is it like let's say they come with
But better to answer this question even better. Kathorta and Katuta. Everybody knows Hindu? Hindi? Kathor. No Hindi. Okay. So Kathorta is strictness. And katuta is like negative thinking, bitterness. One should not have bitterness in our heart. So forgiving is from inside, heart to heart, saying that I need to forgive this person for my own relief of negative poison that I'm carrying in my heart. It's like you are carrying a charcoal, burning charcoal in your hand, saying that one day I will throw at this person. So what is every day happening? My hand is getting burned. So that revengeful thinking is actually burning my heart day in, day out. It's keeping me away from the God given opportunity to realize God. And hence forgiving is important from the bitterness point of view. But then there is a kathorta, like a small child is not behaving, and parents are there, what's going on? Like they're actually very happy from inside, but they externally show the strictness. I say that I'll punish you. I'm going to get angry now. Now we're in trouble now. And the child says, okay, 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 I'll behave. So that strictness can be applied that you should not take out. For example, if there's a legal process and the cops come and arrest the person and the person goes to jail, the person gets hanged, all of that is fair game. To the point, if you are in the situation where you have to use your hands and legs to prevent a crime, fair game. Right? We're not talking about becoming Gandhi.
Yeah, that's
exactly. The forgiveness is at the soul level, saying that this is also part and parcel of God. Bhagwan ka अंश है, and the person is in the wrong status right now. Yeah. Right? We want this person to come out. And if people could learn without punishment, then God would not have sent us here. So punishment is necessary, but hatred is not necessary. Exactly. Right? कठोरता हो सकती है, कटुता नहीं हो सकती. That is the spiritual message. And that's exactly what the first chapter Arjuna is telling Krishna. Krishna, I don't want to fight. These are all my relatives. And he gives long series of excuses. And second chapter, Krishna starts speaking. Krishna says, hey Arjuna, you're not talking like an intelligent person. Then he starts the knowledge of soul. And he says that there was never a time when these kings and you and me were not present. This is just like changing the shirt. The results of the war is already decided. And if you do not fight, people will say to dar gaya, you are scared. He gives so many arguments and full knowledge of karma, yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. And then finally says, Arjuna, now you decide what do you want to do. By your own choice, you choose what do you want to do. And then Arjuna is ready to fight. And he says, oh Krishna, I will fight. Right after the fight begins, Abhimanyu is killed by Adharma. After seeing the Virat Rupa, after knowing Krishna is in the heart of everyone, after knowing that not even a breath is complete without Krishna's permission, his own child is killed by Adharma. Exactly when the father of Dharma is present on the battlefield, it does not limit on Krishna. So, by the example of Arjuna, by the example of Pandavas, by the example of Kunti Devi, they're teaching us how to become a devotee, how to live a spiritual life, how to think. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam is very important. Every day reading Srimad Bhagavatam is a guarantee that we will learn the right lessons for this life. Did I answer your question? Now, I'll ask you one part I did not answer that I'll answer now. Say a heinous crime happens. You were talking about some crimes, right? Now, your first question is this person should go through enormous punishment. Yes? Yeah. But in this lifetime, how many times you will kill the same person? Yeah. So that is why the punishment is given at a soul level and in the time and context and everything, and designed by Daivena, Karma Netrena. By the spiritual authority, the higher authorities decide as per your karma what should be your next life. So then, is it the person who is committing the crime is going to suffer, right? And then what about the like other side? Like somebody gets murdered or somebody gets sick. So is it they have killed somebody. Okay, so something is there in the karma. No karma is free. I'll give you a very simple example. If you decide to slap me hard right now, you may desire it, you may raise your hand, but it will not happen unless I have done that crime and I have earned the value. That it will not happen. The challenge is, so that means I'm due for getting a fire slap. Okay? Whether you will deliver it, if not, somebody else will deliver it. If you choose to become the instrument of my karma, by delivering that slab, now you have earned your future. You understand?
Oh,
Law of karma is subtle. And it is, suppose Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, law of karma is difficult to understand. Right? But we can understand it at a very simple level. Kar bhala to ho bhala. If you do good things will happen. Maintain it at that level, then keep moving. It's only the question of more understanding of what is good about it. But for example, in my office, one office colleague came and said, we celebrated Thanksgiving. And in the Thanksgiving, we gave away 1,000 turkeys. Now, is it bhala or not bhala? I'll let you guys decide because we have a few slides to cover. Right? Ah, coincidence. So, what are the pillars of sinful life? I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam with another batch, and the topic came up about Srimad Bhagavatam. It is a beautiful pastime of clearing Kali Yuga. The Kali personified is attacking the bull, which is the representation of Dharma, and the cow. Um, and that when that attack is happening, King Parikshit, the descendant of Pandavas, he is present personally over there and he says, who are you? Why are you doing this? Be ready for a fight. I want to punish you right now. And the Kali says, I surrender. I will not fight. And because I am also part of your kingdom, you have to give me a place to stay. And where will Kali stay? Kali will stay in these four places, four pillars of sinful life. So what we are doing, we are teaching how to not give place for Kali in our life. So first is meat eating. Now, really, if you look at science, it is bad for health, right? But in US especially, what happens? First, the industry decides how to expand because everything is stocks, and stocks have to be always on the growing side for the investment to continue. So commercially driven, they'll work out the social drives in society to make it look like it is good for you. Whether it is soybean oil or corn oil or
cigarette, 1980s. Cigarette also they promoted law, 1980s.
it's amazing that the lobbies can propagate anything to you and make you believe that this is good for you. And there are so medical colleges, all medical colleges and their pharmaceutical associates, they are all sponsored. There is a sponsorship everywhere. The studies are also sponsored. Even research. Yeah, the research studies, right? Those studies are sponsored. The sponsored study, coincidentally, they come out with the same conclusion that sponsor wanted. Coincidence, right? That is how the thinkers, the philosophers are living their life. 60% of the known infection diseases are mid-born. That is real forgiving the turkey. Huh? He pulled it out of the death trap and set it free.
Have you asked yourself, how have I contributed to starting this pandemic? Maybe not, and most likely you'll answer me, I didn't start it. But science says that you may have. And here's how. The fact is that this virus has come from beast to man. Because of rampant meat consumption, humans are in too close proximity to animals. And what viruses animals have, humans become susceptible to. COVID-19 is connected to bats or pangolins. It has just started and has already killed over 75,000 globally. Who knows what the final toll will be? Ebola started in 2014. It's connected to bats and primates and is still 11,000. H1N1, swine flu, 600,000. SARS, that also started in a wet market and it killed 1,000. And of course, AIDS linked to hunting puppies, 32 million today. All these viruses and others like bird flu, experts consider to be triggers that can easily fire off the pandemic. This is our new reality right now. That by eating animals, by hunting them, we come in contact with their viruses. 60% of known infectious diseases in humans are transmitted from animals. That means that it's not just meat eaters who get a virus, but anyone they contact. So now with COVID-19, we are seeing how easily humans transmit those viruses at who knows what price to humanity. Now, you may not believe this pandemic was due to the wrath of God or the law of karma, but you cannot deny the fact of science that meat eating risks pandemics. The Chinese government has already suggested citizens cut back their meat consumption. My friend, like me, you are probably in lockdown. You and I have adjusted our lives to save our lives and the lives of others. Now I'm asking you to consider making another adjustment, a lifelong adjustment. Please stop eating meat. And no doubt, non vegetarians will argue that they have a right to eat what they please. But I and the 500 million vegetarians and vegans of the world reply, not when your right to meat jeopardizes my right to life.
This is Shivaram Swamiji. He's a monk, as you will start grew up as a just another Westerner, eating what they eat, accepted the message of Bhagavad Gita, and has created a agricultural family in Hungary, in Europe. That is so beautiful. They have a temple, they have a school and college, and they have farms and fields, and they all are devotees. All are white devotees, local devotees. There is no Indian there. I hope so. And they all go to farming using the traditional techniques, bullock carts, very traditional way of farming. And they get their crops, they get their milk, they offer it in the local temple, and they live so happy life. The local government also likes it, Hungarian government. They support them. It's okay, we'll also give you some sponsorship because you are really showing us how to live better. That is Shivrao Swamiji. Yes, the books he has written are also ISKCON's highest quality books possible, right? So about chanting God's name and various other good books. So very, very high-ranking monk. Um, what he said was recorded right in the middle of pandemic. That time the topic was hot. Now we have kind of forgotten how bad the pandemic was, right? Any questions on the first pillar?
I have one question. Yes. But in Bhagavad Gita also, I mean, I'm not a meat eater, but the question that I was trying to, when I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, or maybe I don't remember Bhagavatam, I don't remember which one it is. Like, as a king, you are allowed to eat meat because you are taking care of the kingdom. You have to be strong enough to take care of the people. And if you like
I got your question.
so
It's 35th batch.
okay.
So yeah, no, very good question. Okay.
But people argue with that. That's where I want to ask.
No, no,
That
very
is-
fine. Very good question. I'm answering. So, what are the exceptions? In the Vedic scripture, is there the injunction for it's okay to eat meat? That's the question, right? Yes. People who are not kings, they're not brahmanas, they're not vaishyas. What remains is people who are in the service class. Um, they're allowed to eat goat meat. If you say don't eat, people gonna rebel, right? So there is a way given for a gradual purification. And what is that gradual purification method? One is allowed to take a goat in the middle of no moonlight, this Amvasya, in a temple that is outside the village, in a Kali Mata temple. And in that middle of the night, you look the goat in the eyes and say, Mam sir. Mam sir means mom, meat. But what Sanskrit meaning is, I will eat you now, you eat me later. So you look at the goat and you say a mantra to it. That mantra I will tell you in English. My dear goat, I am going to cut your throat. This life, I will eat you. Next life, you eat me. I give you permission. Now, you did it for one Amvasya. Now you are carrying that Bakra is going to eat me next life. Then, second Amvasya. Now those two goats are going to eat me twice. Means now I have won two goat lives. Now third Amvasya, you start thinking, maybe I'll skip this stuff. You understand? There is a gradual awareness of law of karma coming out of the process if you follow the process. If you don't follow the process, then you go to that Abdul Ghaniwala cut shop, and then there are 5 family members, and every family member says, you go and bring, you go and bring. Because one who goes to bring, when they see the situation of those animals, they don't eat properly. They're not able to enjoy it. They say if the slaughterhouses had glass windows, everybody would be vegetarian. Yes. So that's why people are pushing each other. You go, you go, you go, right? So that is first exception that is given. The second exception that is given is the kings are supposed to practice their martial arts. And the real way to practice martial arts is to go in a jungle where there are wild animals or deers, you go hunting. When you go on hunting and you're chasing a deer deep into the woods where even your army is not able to follow you, you are gone deep and you kill the deer in the process. Now you are allowed to eat that deer as a way of sustaining yourself. But also, real Kshatriya is not one who knows how to use sword and arrows. That's not real Kshatriya. Real Kshatriya is one who can handle blood, is able to kill. If not, even person with a gun, like if you have a gun in your hand and a thief enters the home, you have all the chance to take out the thief. You'll not. You're like, please go away. I don't want to kill you. Right? So the Kshatriya is one who can handle blood and death. So to be in that practice, they are allowed to be there, and hence, in a peculiar situation where food is not available, you can eat. That is the second exception. The third exception is, which is connected to that only. If your life is at risk, you will not be able to live if you don't turn to that meat for that moment, then you are allowed. Right? So these are exceptions. That means if you understand, instead of calling ourselves vegetarians, we say we are Krishnatarians. Means we eat what Krishna eats. Now, Krishna eats, what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. So Patram, leaves, Pushpam, flowers, cauliflower, and other flowers. Right? Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, fruits, Toyam, water. So Krishna is expecting these things only. But at the point of Brahman destruction of the Brahmanda, he eats universals. So we are Krishnatarian. We don't want to trouble somebody else for our taste. If our life is at risk and if we are forced in that situation, one is allowed. That is the most of the people will say, I'll still die, but not. Why? Because that means I need to take another life. What if this is my last life? I'm okay to go back to God. Right? So it's personal choice. So there are exceptions, but those exceptions are supposed to be kept as exceptions. That's the difference.
No.
You got your answers. You got your answers.
One
Okay.
What about probably the milk in USA? Because here mostly the cows are tortured in USA, and then that means by milk, buying the milk is also supporting the people, like this industry.
Yes, yes. That's next level of sensitivity where people realize that drinking milk from outside is contributing to that industry. Some people go vegan. Some people come to the Samamish temple and they take the Ahimsa milk. We have Ahimsa milk project. So we get Ahimsa milk in the temple. Is it being served here?
We are actually getting the milk from the farm to our house, delivered to our house. And we have a group, whoever orders, and we place order accordingly. So like, and we get it every Sunday. So like today we distributed about 20 cans.
Yes.
Okay.
So please get in touch with Mataji.
Okay. So that is a good option. So then.
It's amazing option.
No, I'm yeah, definitely. Yeah. But then what about for others? Like if there are-
We are working on that also. We may create milk powder, which we can ship it to other parts of US.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of discussion is going on. We are in Kali Yuga. That you have to remember first.
Yeah.
Right. In Kali Yuga, it is not supposed to be perfect. Otherwise, it is not Kali Yuga. So what matters is A, B, C, D, E formula that we are going to review today. But very good thoughts. All right. Alcohol. Do you not know even one alcoholic in your life whose life got destroyed because of alcohol? Some of us know some people. So we know it's a trouble, right? But if you see in our corporate life, how it is dignified, how it is justified, how it is supposed to be like cool, and that coolness is something a danger that we need to watch out for. Because none of our parents taught us saying that, okay, Ganesh, now you're 18 years old, take this. Nobody did that, right? It's because how it is glorified in the corporate life, and that is how you earn the business and win the relationships. That is where it is. Or a second option is in the Western world, you go to the pub and dating. That is where alcohol is prominent. But the whole idea is before you do something bad, your IQ needs to drop. That is where people drink alcohol because they want to do more sinful activities after that. Gambling. Gambling is another serious issue. Many of us not impacted, so we'll not go too deep into that. But gambling can destroy the life perfectly. And if you go to Las Vegas for some business meetings, right? Um, take a walk on the floor of a casino and look at the faces of the people who are playing those slots and putting coins. These are the most depressed people in the universe. They have come out there as a last hope to become rich and make it big. They don't have confidence in their own karma. They don't have confidence in their capability. They don't have confidence in their community that they can help them. They have lost all the hope. So they are saying, I hope that one coin will make me a millionaire and then I can do more sinful activities. Right? That's their hope. So very, very depressed people. Look at the staff in those casinos. They're given suits and all that to wear. Look at their faces. Most depressed people. So yeah, Las Vegas may be a sin city, but it is not a happy city. So sins don't make us happy. It gets proved in Las Vegas only. Right? Now, anybody goes to Las Vegas for business meetings? Just know that Paramatma is with you all the time. So your family is not there, but Paramatma is there and Paramatma is watching. So be extremely careful in the sin city if you have to. Illicit sex. Now, you go to Hollywood, Bollywood, and so many open the newspapers, you see that just people who not wanting to stay within their family life causes so much of ruckus in the family life. And people are not able to trust each other because of that. Unlimited number of issues are coming out of that. Now, as a result, again, in the world of Christianity, it was like relationships are made in heaven and you're living on the earth, right? So the divorce was not allowed. Divorce was not allowed. But men are men. So they would kill their wives to get other men. Then the church had to adjust and say that, okay, Baba, divorce is allowed. So divorce was allowed so that the lives are not taken. See the challenges human society in Kali Yuga is facing. That if you implement original rules strictly, people figure out these ways of doing things. There are more, from that history, there are more dangerous stories for some other day. But the point is, people wanting to go towards multiple partners is a starting point for dissatisfaction in the family. If the husband and wife commit to each other and say that we are here for each other till the last breath, now that leaves you free to work on the prosperity of the family, children's education, good behavior, spiritual progress, so many things. But if you are worried that my life partner is actually about to ditch me, that creates imbalance in the family to a level where now that property or children or all that goes for a toss. So you see the families that go through multiple partners or multiple marriages and their children, stepmother, stepfather. It's not necessarily a very happy experience for them. In their most delicate age, they are dealing with somebody stranger, stepfather, stepmother, right? Very, very unhappy experience. Why? Because the parents could not control their desire to become too much happy. Now the children have to deal with the unhappiness. They grow up very broken actually. And then what do they do with these broken? They are not able to have straight relationships with other people. They are also looking for happiness all the time. The whole society goes through a very delicate imbalance where children are at risk. These are the children which are at risk, gets exploited by some systemic people, and they become famous as X files, these files, that files, and nothing name it. The point is, it's the result of people giving up to gambling, giving up their common sense to alcohol, giving up their common sense to wanting to go after multiple partners. And the last thing on your mind is God consciousness because of that. So, as a human being, if you stay away from all those distractions, then you are able to focus on why you are born as a human being. And that is why, if you want to eat meat, law of karma will say next life you become a wild animal. All your life you are eating meat only. Like a tiger in a garden full of apples. Apples are also red. It is also red. The tiger will die because of hunger, will not eat apple. Right? Because the Paramatma sitting in tiger's body says you can only eat this, you cannot eat apples. So because those bodies are Paramatma controlled, they don't earn sins. They are only fulfilling their desire to eat meat. But now they are forced into that situation. How a tiger or a lion dies at the old age is always because of hunger. So they are not able to hunt. They cannot run, they cannot kill, but they cannot eat apples also. Right? So it's a punishment. They are not earning more karma. So the law of karma says if you want to eat meat, you become the wild animal. That means now dealing with the winters, dealing with all situations. So for every bad desire, there is a connected reaction pending for us. Now, I'll tell you a beautiful story on this. Lord Ram and Sita, Mother Sita, when they met first time, the first time, okay, Sita brought a gift for Lord Ram. That is emotional intelligence. He brought a gift for Lord Ram. Lord Ram said, I did not bring any gift for you. Right? Guys are guys. So, but he said, but Sita, I'll promise you something. In those days of Vedic kings, when you could take any number of wives, right? He said, I will only have you as my wife. I will never look at any other woman in my life. That is the greatness of Lord Ram. That he self-controlled. Maryada Purushottam. Eka Vachni, Eka Bani, Eka Patni. So raise your hand and say, I will only be one Patni only. Everybody. Mataji's are safe. We don't have any question for them. Guys are guys. That's why you have to watch out. By the way, separations are increasing like anything. Please don't go in that direction. And if you feel like talk to me, we'll convince you better. So, what is expectation from a human being? Austerity. We're supposed to be self-controlling. We're supposed to do sacrifice. Sacrifices of what? Sacrifices we can do some hard work for the spiritual projects. We can do give cash for the spiritual projects. We can give groceries for the spiritual projects. We can donate cows for the spiritual project. We can donate grass for the cows for the spiritual project. We can give time, like what we are doing here. You know, is we're giving our time in spreading the spiritual knowledge and remove the clutter and confusion in everyone's life. So we need to do some kind of a sacrifice. Sacrifice purifies our existence. It is need for us, right? And then knowledge. We're supposed to learn as human beings. Dogs and cats cannot ask this question, why am I suffering? They're also suffering. They don't ask this question. An association of saints like Gaurav Prabhu, Yeshwati Mataji. There are all these amazing people in the temple come and take their association. Their mood of sacrifice rubs on us. We also feel like doing something. Look how happy she is just by doing service. Naturally happy. This is like I used to sit on welcome desk in our temple and big days like Happy New Year, Christian Jन्माष्टमी. A lot of people come who don't come otherwise. And I used to feel their faces differently. Like I could see they are suffering. There is no spirituality in your life, your face looks different actually. It is more like troubled, trust atma, parishan atma, bhatakti atma. Anyway, so what is the power of association? Is we also start to become like them. Then what happens when we go back to the spiritual world? There is no birth, no old age, no disease, and no death. How powerful it is. And we, as a soul that we are born as a soul, it is our birthright. It is a birthright to get the highest happiness possible and stay in that happiness in an ever increasing mode forever, not worrying about what we are worrying about today. It is our birthright. It is for us to grab it. God wants us to grab it. Whole spiritual parampara, they want us to grab it. We can only block ourselves from not doing it. So we have to take that conviction saying that I will take my spiritual life seriously. So repeat after me. I will take my spiritual life seriously. Thank you. I'll tell you a nice real life story. I had one office friend whom somehow came to ISKCON. And then his parents came. His parents came in, and that is a family from strong meat background. But this guy, my friend, he gave me an idea. He said, my mother, if she makes a promise, she will keep it at any cost. Any cost. I said, okay. So that day I gave the class. And in the class, I said, let's take our hand. Show me your hand. Put your chest. And say, मेरा शरीर कोई मरे हुए प्राणियों का कब्रिस्तान नहीं था. I'll be vegetarian today onwards. Like that, I asked that Mataji to promise. And voila, she gave up on meat. She made her husband give up on meat because she's very strong by personality. Recently, she left her body as a Pakka Hare Krishna chanting 32 rounds. And the result was miraculous. And it all came because my friend told me, my mother keeps her promise. Isn't it amazing? So I have highest regard, out of 35 batches, some of my students have left their body. Some of the students have seen something. But my point is, so I have seen the life 360 degrees that it is really good at a soul level to take this class seriously. Whether you personally want to keep up with your promise or not, it's your free will. We are not mandating anything. We are just saying, come to temple, enjoy the classes. We are not enforcing anything as an organization, as a teachers. We do not dictate your life. We only say, please come to temple, please take the darshan, please eat prasadam, please chant Krishna's names. You add Krishna in your life. Other part of the life, how it will manifest and how it will change and when it will change is up to you. And that is the free will you have. If Krishna gives you the free will, we are not going to remove the free will. How can we? Right? God believes in your free will. As another human being, how can I have control on anybody else's free will? Not possible. Then I'm defying God's project. We are only creating inspiration to go back this lifetime so that we don't have to deal with the death and the age. So what can we do? There's A, B, C, D, E formula. So what time is
7:37.
okay? How much time we have? Today is the okay day now. We can
Yes,
go
I have
to-
no question.
Yeah. But as long as thank you. Local affairs, it gives us permission. Okay. A for association. Are we gonna have this session discussed again? So I will give you at a very glimpse level. A for association. Be friends with people you want to be like. B for books. Read the books. Very common sense. Okay. Now, these books are not ordinary. They are direct spiritual message coming the parampara, authentic and original. When these books enter our home, they transform our future. Even without opening it. Like I know some friends who know those healing techniques, they can heal you out of social trauma and all that. So, um, so I gifted a Krishna book to this healer. And it was gift wrap. I gave it. And her first question was, what is this and what am I supposed to do with it? I said, this is a book. You read stories to your child. I said, okay, but took it to her office and they scan everything. The healers, they are able to scan things and they come to know. So over the package, she scanned the book. And in 2 minutes, she came back and said, that book is really good. Huh? I said, you have not opened it. You have not read it. How do you know? "Oh, I scanned it. My faith in the books went up. Okay. If a healer can scan a book, which is gift wrap, these are spiritual books. These are not ordinary things. Do not take them lightly. C for chanting. We'll talk about that. D for diet. So chanting is just calling out God's names. And the next session is totally focused on the what does chanting mean. D for diet. Prasadam. We talked about meat, we do not want it. Patram pushpam phalam toyam, yes. But the fun part is somebody should have asked this question that even the plants have life. If you're killing them, is it not sinful? And the answer is yes. But Jiva Jiva Se Jivanam, we are supposed to minimize the violence. So we take the dormant nature plants which are subconscious compared to us, we offer it to the lordships. Lord takes away the karma built into killing the plants, and that is allowed food for us. And by offering to the lordship, one the sin goes away. Second thing is it gets spiritualized, and because it is spiritualized, what goes to the Lord is bhoga. What comes back is prasadam. And when we eat prasadam, prasada, Prabhu ke sakshat darshan. Eating prasad is equal to having darshan of the Lord. That is why when somebody says, oh, this is a laddu coming from Tirupati, and if it's a Balaji devotee, they will receive it with honor. They'll keep it very carefully. They'll share it with all family members. That is as good as receiving the darshan of the Lord. That is the power of the prasadam. And our spiritual authority believes in so much that we are distributing prasadam day in, day out, sending yellow truck, food trucks, we are sending burritos. We are saturating the whole area with good prasadam. Because that is our secret weapon in helping the souls understand their souls, not this body. To the point, thank you for allowing me to extend on this. One of our friends went to Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, he met a white person wearing saffron, distributing books, doing Nirjala Ekadashi. Nirjala Ekadashi, no water on Ekadashi. And he said, from where you are coming, this Indian guy, my friend? Where are you coming from? Seattle. Huh? Seattle. Please say give my obeisance to Harivilas Maharaj. So I said, how do you know him? He said, decades back, I was a homeless person under the impact of drugs, not taking bath for months, and always like zoned out. That situation I was in the gardens of San Francisco. Haridas Maharaj used to come as a Hare Krishna and used to drop a morsel in my mouth. One food bite, something, some water, something in my mouth. And what would happen out of that? Slowly, I started sitting, I started eating what he's giving me. Over a period of time, I said, I'm feeling better. Can I move into your temple? And he said, not yet, you're still not very clean. So he gave me money to go into that public bathrooms, and clean up nicely, take shower nicely, give money to buy clothes. And that is how slowly, then he was allowed to come into the temple. And then he was allowed to serve. And then he became such a good devotee that he has relocated to Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a place where if you leave your body, your liberation is guaranteed. So he's already living in a place where liberation is guaranteed. And what is he doing day in, day out? He's distributing Bhagavad Gita to who? Indians. Like he's saying Bhagavad Gita. And Indians, what do? They check with their wife. Lena hai kya? And then the wife says, Chhod. We have it. We have it at home. That is the standard answer. We may not have it, but people say we have it. Right? So then this person came back here and asked Haridas Maharaj, do you know this person? He said, yes. Then he gave even more detailed version. Until then, he had not told us that because he has liberated so many. He did not tell us. That time, then he told us the story that this is how this person brought us. That is the power of the prasadam. So when we come to the temple, if these hippies can become happies, and if we come from somewhat good background, aren't we supposed to take full benefit of this? Don't we have the real connection to the spirituality present? Is it not transforming somebody else's life? Can it not transform my life? We need to have that confidence. I am in the right place. I will get benefited. And I will not give up this spiritual opportunity that came after millions of lifetimes. I don't want to become a snail or a worm or a bird. I don't want to become that thing. This life, this should be our conviction. And we're ready for that. And then for engagement, after you eat nutritious prasadam, made in the mood. And do you know, after 10 years of wedding, the husband naturally starts to think like a wife. Have you noticed that? If not in 10 years, after 20 years. But slowly, later on, people can finish each other's sentences. Like you start a sentence and husband will finish that sentence. You know what is going on? Whatever you are thinking, that mood goes in the food, and then that mood gets transferred. If you want to retain your mood, guys, start cooking. Okay? But if you are willing to surrender, then that's perfect. Keep eating. So in temple, when we are making bhoga for the Lord, we are thinking of Lord. We are thinking that we're chanting Krishna's names, we're hearing Krishna Katha, we're doing something, and that mood goes into the food, into the prasadam, it naturally benefits. That's why a homeless in San Francisco becomes a monk in Vrindavan. That is the power of the food and the mood that goes in. Same thing is equally true. When you order from outside and those people are thinking rubbish, that rubbish you are injecting into your mind. You just did not eat from the local bakery or a pizza. You are also taking that mood into your mind. So please understand, food is a science, subtle science, that Vedic science that we always have. But some of us have forgotten. So we are refreshing. And if for engagement, after eating nutritious prasadam and remembering God's names, you feel empowered. Abhi kya karna hai? You are like full of energy. Come and do some seva. That's the engagement. ABCDE model is a guarantee of going back to the spiritual world based on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So these are the steps. You can study Vedas, austerity, sense control, spiritual knowledge. The one who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conduct conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. माम उपेत्या पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयम अशाश्वतम दुःख आलय हिमा आलय पुस्तक आलय आलय means home dukhalay is place full of misery. One may say, hey, but I'm working in a company where the stocks are doing well, my health is well, nobody is troubling me. Ashashwatam, tomorrow is not guaranteed. AI is coming, software jobs may not exist. Ashashwatam. Napnuvanti Mahatmanaha Samsiddhit Paramam Gata. What does it mean? After attaining me, Krishna is saying, the great souls, means all of you, who are yogis in devotion, never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. Bhagavad Gita 8.15. What Krishna is saying, they don't return. Why Krishna is saying they don't return? Because if you end up worshipping some devata, not God himself, devata, that loka also gets destroyed. That is part of the Brahmanda. So if you do some devata worship, You get to come back. You can go, you can enjoy, have some good time, but come back. Swarga. You can go, enjoy, come back. So because this comeback business is still there, that means we are still in the material world and we are going through a rotation. You want to break this rotation, you want to go back to the spiritual world, eternal place that does not get destroyed. That is Krishna Loka, is what Krishna is telling her. That is the difference between worshipping Krishna and worshipping a Devata. We do not stop you from any Devata. Please, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, if somebody is worshipping a Devata, let them enjoy, no problem. So it's not like against the Devata. We're just telling you that, like you go to kayak.com, Google Flights, and say, if you book a flight to San Francisco, it will take 2 hours, it will cost you $500, right? That level information we're giving. Where you want to go is up to you. Because after completing the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told Arjuna, now Arjuna, you decide. And so we are supposed to decide for ourselves. Okay, with that, we'll start the reflections. Which way we start? Start here. Say your first name again, loud and clear. We are in Kali Yuga, memory. So,
Sandeep. Um, what my reflection for this lesson is more about forgiving. Um, this is a real time story that I had. Like I had a friend who I have helped him like multiple times. Like he was like he got job because of me multiple times and all of that. But suddenly he never told me where he was going. He just didn't inform me. And I was like pretty angry. I was pretty angry that I did so much for you and you didn't have a courtesy to even say that you are not even saying that you are leaving this place. So I've been like keeping that anger, and my wife was also having that anger because we sacrificed a lot for him. And then we kept having that um, uh, this thing like a hard feeling on him. And then at certain point in time when we started more getting into more and more spiritual, we understood that maybe it is the karma that we have to continue this relationship only to this level, and then there is a karma balance is over. That is why he left. So we understood that, and then we forgive him, and then we were like, now, okay, whatever happened is happened. Like we have to move on. So this is the lesson. Like when you are talking about all of that, like that is what I was just relating. And the more you keep yourself, and if you are not forgiving, and when God forgives us for our sins, correct, whatever we have done, and then when we are realizing it, if God is forgiving us, what are we at the end of the day? Why can't we forgive others? That's the lesson.
please give a big hand. The personal, heartfelt, and honest expression of what you learn out of this is an inspiration for others also. Thank you. Yes, what is
He comes to know the Kali is living in for the regulative principles. So also, yeah, the forgiving thing is also helps a lot. The story, burning coal.
Charcoal.
Yeah.
तो माफ करता हूँ. Thank you. Harry.
Amita,
So I think
out of the whole session, the most thing catching thing was like we taking on somebody else's karma for no reason, basically. We take our karma also and then take somebody else's also unknowingly.
Mm.
So I think when we're trying to do something, it's better we just think about if we are taking our own karma or we are inheriting the other one also, which is actually not ours.
Mm. Wow. Good relation. Thank you. Next.
I'm Rahul. I don't know what to say. A lot of things I learned, and at the end, no hatred in the mind. But it's all everything's well now. And yeah, that's pretty much what my friends.
Again, we have zero expectation from you, okay? Do not think you have to change something other than what you want to change for yourself. What do you do?
Hare Krishna. I'm Subhankar. Today's class was good. Like I had a couple of questions for a long time. I was thinking to ask. But today was a good day to ask, and then I'm like very grateful this would help me. Especially the karma side, I had a couple of questions that you got clarified, and then also the ABCD. Those things are really important to progress in value for spirituality. So I think yeah, I'm trying to just practice this a little bit.
Also, we are doing ABCD is about doing what we are doing, just changing the mind game. Perspective changes. Action remains the same. So we are not asking us to go to Himalayas or anything like that. Or join temple full time, nothing like that. Keep doing what you're doing, just do it better and think differently. Yeah.
Hi, it's my brother JD. I joined really late, but I got a couple of questions. One is regarding milk. Like, though it's coming from cow or buffalo, right? You are squeezing it to get it. So this will be kind of you're hurting the cow. There's always an online debate going on today. This is one is milk, especially for vegetarian. The other is eggs. So like, so someone will just invite it. The same way the milk is coming, like by squeezing cows or buffalo. The eggs are also coming the same way. So like people are categorizing eggs as also vegetarian, right? So two questions. Whether what do you think you consider eggs as vegetarian and milk
We will answer those right after the session. But these are good questions.
and
They
milk?
go to the personal individual preference level. But the first question is very simple. Many types of cows use so much milk that if you don't milk them, it will create a disease for them. So Mother Nature naturally makes cows give more milk because it is also made for human consumption, because it is God's design.
But isn't that the same argument like for women when they have kids, they for a certain period of time they will get milk, right?
But if you only give it to what the baby needs, that is usually enough, right? You don't get it for like 5 babies worth or 10 babies worth.
Yeah, so means.
But the cows get so much milk in their udders that if it is not beyond the calf drinking, if it is not milk,
Mhm.
it is a disease for the cow. It's a health issue. You should go deeper into the study of cows. You can Redmond we have cows. Come and enjoy serving them. You'll actually see that the udder gets so full that now if you don't do something about it, it is a problem.
We have cows, so I can confirm.
Yeah.
It's a common problem. And even for the mothers, new mothers, this is a problem. They have to milk out
They
eggs.
have to milk out. Yeah. Very. That's fine. Sorry. Yes.
From there, I mean, I love this session. The YSI have attended, I think, more than 12, 13 sessions. But every time it's a new insight. If I could add to whatever you beautifully designed and spoke about, I just wanted to add about the prasadam thing. And I wanted to link it to the change of body when you were talking about how we change cells, and all of our cells are changed, at least after 7 years or 8 years, all of our body cells are changed. And basically, all these cells are nourished with food that we take in. So this is beautifully explained in a couple of lectures. And I heard it from my husband, but he heard it from some lecture that if we strictly, stick to prasadam only in about 7 years, our whole body will be made of prasadam.
That is the truth.
So that is something that sticks with me.
Thank you. Thank you for attending and gracing this. See, Mataji is curious to sit in this class after 12 sessions also. That is the beauty of this knowledge. It's now Nutanam. It's always fresh because it's spiritual in nature. That's why I'm recording the classes, sending it to you so that when you are driving, taking showers, you just listen to it. Then when you repeat, it goes deeper.
And it's always a good reminder. I mean, with all the material things going our way and the way we are moving into the world, you tend to sometimes get some things on the back of your mind. It's always a good reminder.
Thank you. Please come more often.
Whenever he has, of course, from
Hare Krishna, I'm Roshni. Yeah, you were talking about reminders. It just like struck to me that Prabhuji had spoken about making a phone call today. So I was thinking like I do keep connections with people. I think I do the most in my family, like trying to remember everybody's birthdays and New Year wishes and all that. So those are the only time like we tried other than our families, like the close, like parents, sisters, that big connection. So every time we have at least alternate days or weekly, we try to keep that. But yeah, out of the blue, other than having like birthday calls or something, I think I should connect to some relatives. That's my point.
Very nice.
And then forgiveness, and today we made a promise for meat. I don't know how long, but we will try.
Yeah, again, it's your promise to yourself. So you decide for yourself. I just said this is how my friend's mom gave me no expectation from us. And the promise doesn't say which date you're starting up. So your life is still your life. And we'll never question what are you eating nowadays. That question you will not get here. This is a freedom place. Yeah. Very nice. Yes.
Um, Actually, two questions. First one is that we talked about soul moving from one body to another. So essentially, what it also means that there are only like limited number of souls or finite number of souls.
Mhm.
Is that correct? Is that a good assumption here?
Yeah.
Right? So,
What happened to dinosaurs?
yeah. So essentially, like if all the souls, are taking that path, and that for the lack of better word, I call it a redemption, right? If everyone, then there's no one left here on the planet.
Big problem. That's the question.
Yeah, I mean that's is that the right reflection?
Goes back to the understanding of who I am as a soul. Like, what is the size of the soul? Anybody can tell.
Yes, thanks.
That is Paramatma. Atma. You are. So
1/10,000th of the tip of my head.
you pluck out a hair which don't exist anymore on my head. So and then break it down, the tip. You break it down 10,000 times, take one part out of that, and that is the size of the soul, not even watchable with microscope. And stays in the region of our heart, right? And pervades the whole body. It energizes the whole body. And that same size soul exists in the whale fish, whale or sharks or big animals, giraffe. Same size soul. Now that doesn't end over there. That is the primary soul. But then there are unlimited number of bacteria, viruses, everything in our body. They also have a soul. It's also living thing, like microbes. So now you see how the calculation goes insane. So it's not like you are only seeing 7 billion people, that is only. No. Every human body again may have 7 billion souls. So that's why it is beyond our, as Krishna says, the science of soul is beyond our imagination. So, but basics are given to understand that I am not this body.
Yeah, that's good. I have a second question. In the Vedic food, since we talked about Vedic food, right? Certain things are forbidden, like garlic and onion. But potatoes are okay. All of these are grown on soil. So what's the reasoning?
Yeah. Very good question. So the foods, we will learn the moods. Sattoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Have I explained that? So for example, charity can be done in the mode of Sattoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So Sattoguna means in the mode of goodness. People who want to do charity in the mode of goodness, like one of my DY students, he completed his Discover Yourself class. He came to me and said that, Prabhu, I want to sponsor the books for the future batches. And he did n number of batches. He kept sponsoring everybody's books. One after another. He said, never discuss my name. What a goodness, Sattoguna. I don't want any publicity. I just want to do the good thing. And thank you for this. I know one book can transform one. So he himself decided, he himself executed. I was only the facilitator. So charity, the mode of goodness is like Gupta Dana. I don't want to be. The second is charity in the name of passion. So I will give charity where my name will be prominent on the board. Right? I should become famous. Like when I was a kid and I had this school called as Raja Shivaji Vidyalaya. What a gracious name to be in Maharashtra. And this person came, business guy, And then he said, now you have to give my name to your school for some 5 lakh rupees. We were small children, primary kids, and we said, this is the most third class person we know on the earth. Right? That is charity in the mode of passion. Mode of ignorance, tamaguna. One Beoda comes out of the pub in the middle of the night at 11 o'clock. It's a rainy night, there's a beggar sitting outside. Yeah, hum nahi jhumte hai sara jahan. And then, then he goes over there and pulls out another quarter from his pocket and says that I will give this to you. To be feeling, to be aish kar le. So now I am also going to be in trouble. You also get in trouble. This is charity in the mode of ignorance. So even charity can be done in various modes. Our day is divided in the moods. Morning is in the Satoguna. After sunrise, it becomes a Rajoguna. Then at night, it becomes a Tamasic. That is why I say before sunset, everybody should be back home and be with the family. Why? Because the world gets more dangerous after it gets dark. Isn't it true? Like I had seen a documentary long time back, way time before Hare Krishna. The fire and rescue department, the first aid department, all the first responders in New York, they really gear up like a war situation every Friday evening. Friday evening means they know they are going to get 911 calls. Somebody's puking, somebody's dying, somebody's killing, somebody. They get ready like anything. That is mode of ignorance. So day is divided, your every action is divided, your food is also divided into the three gunas. And our whole life, whole Brahmanda is made out of these three gunas. These three gunas are controlling us. So now your food should be eaten in such a way that it is uplifting you from mode of ignorance to mode of passion to mode of goodness. For that, we want to avoid those foods which are tamasic in nature. Meat is tamasic in nature. It prevents us from focusing on spirituality and higher thoughts. That is why it is a bad idea for our spiritual progress. And also, there is an element of being kind to those animals. The onion garlic is also Ayurvedically in the tamasic guna. It is like meat only. So that is why if you are focusing on your spirituality, it is a bad idea. Like if you're trying to do meditation and higher focus, then it is a bad idea. It might be okay for some farmer who is going to toil 8 hours in the fields and going to sweat like crazy. That person is able to digest that energy coming out of onion garlic. But a person who is sitting in AC, only running with computers, not physically moving a lot, that tamasic energy is too much to digest. It can go into the head. Does that answer your question? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Like Babata, so I like in the today class I like it, and then so my takeaways mainly is the forgiven. So which we could relate to our real lives, and then so definitely. And then the example of the charcoal, and then so if we uh put burning charcoal in our hand, and the same way if we uh put grudges on some other anger on our body, and then so which is burning ourselves. We are burning ourselves by putting something burden on our inside, and then so which has to taken away from us, but forgiving them, and then take all the burden, and then the burning sensation comes, and then so we will be free. That we will be free. Now, so that is a good example, and then so I think we should follow, and then so I can. It's definitely I can relate to the real world, and then so in our lives, and then so, and then uh, yeah, the meat thing. So that is really how we did, and then so what are the categories, examples of who can eat, and then so what are the different exceptions for the meat eating, and then so even though exceptions, I don't think so that's exception if we eat both in certain period. You said right, Amavasya, not Amavasya, and then so, but still we are getting punished.
Yeah, will come good again.
So there is no exception. I don't feel any exception.
It's a process. The benefit of following the process is you will realize how to come out of it. You get stuck in that, like, I have to.
So yeah, so that yeah, and then association and then so uplifting our spiritual life and then how our association and then books reading and then ABCD and then all of that. That is to know all those things. And yeah, I have a question and then so yeah, and then we love karma. We discussed the law of karma as well. And then so in the law of karma, we have an instant karma. In the instant karma means like we can
Immediately you get the reaction, you know you did something wrong.
immediately.
Yeah.
So when okay, so
But some karma is time delayed.
okay,
Like you drink 2 gallons of milk tonight, the result will be tomorrow morning, right?
okay,
So there is a time lag. Or some people do mischief or bad activity and they get say AIDS after 7, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years. So all that time they were thinking they're healthy. Right? And when do they die? When their kids are 5 years old. Like the worst time, right? That when they die. So time separation. It is to enhance the punishment. There is a delay.
yeah. And one more thing, and then so when we go in a spiritual life, right, and then our relatives, our own family members pull you back by saying that what is this, what are you doing, and then so why all this in this tender age, why you stop eating non-veg, and then they disrespect what you do. And then, but those people will get punished in this life, or they will get some kind of karma by pulling back you all the time, and then so sarcastically saying something, and then so what you do, and then all those things. Yeah, it is. I think most of the people will face, and then so if you want to do something, and then so people will be because they don't have a knowledge, and then so if we don't if we say something also they won't understand it all, and then instead of understanding, but they pull you back, and then so many
I got your question. So
Yes.
how to handle it, right?
Yeah.
First thing is it is bad for them.
Okay.
But the second thing is because they're directly eating meat, it can be worse than that, right? Because that itself is giving them gross reactions. Um, if somebody eats a cow, one goes to the hellish planet for as many lifetimes as there is every hair on that cow's body. That is our scriptural intention. Every hair on the cow's body is equal to one life in hell. So now imagine what kind of a talk we have. And then if you go into Turkey, if somebody goes and eats one burger in McDonald's, in that there are around 3,600 cows meat mixed up. So now you multiply the number of hair on the cow's body, multiplied by 3,600, one burger, right? So reaction is disproportionate. The first thing is we're supposed to feel compassion for the person. Say that this person needs to be saved, this person needs to be protected, and we should pray for them. We should forgive them in the first place. First, if we are being spiritual life. The second part is, it's not about punishing or cursing. The second part is, why are we doing it? It's not just breaking the law of karma and going back to nirvana. That is not really the goal for in a devotional life. That is a byproduct. If you just chant Hare Krishna, Mukti Devi stands on standby saying that when do you want Mukti? Otherwise, you have to go and do this Aborigines type Himalayas and so many tough activities to get Mukti. In Bhakti, Mukti is a byproduct. She's on standby. When do you want it? So devotees don't care about Mukti. They care about their relationship with the Lord and a positive relationship with the Lord and serving the Lord and pleasing the Lord. So now, if you are falling in love with Lord, then how to fall in love with Lord in our current context is very interesting. Think of it like a girl in the village grows up. She is in love with a person, but her father is a bad man and he marries her to another boy. Now, in the village, there is this one boy that she loves so much, and then there is another boy she married to. Now, in this new home, everybody's watching her, everybody's targeting her, like she should be well behaved and all that. So, what is she supposed to do, right? She's supposed to do her family duties even better so that the family will not suspect that her mind is somewhere else. Correct? Like that, we are supposed to fall in love with God. We do duties and relationships of this world so well so that nobody suspects we are in love with God. That means if we need to be secretive about our diet plan, we can. How frequently we meet? Once a year, once in 2 years. Just say, I have some temporary diet restriction. Manage the situations. Instead, carry the high quality prasadam and feed it to the relatives. Feed them the prasadam. Don't tell them the whole philosophy immediately. Hey, Amma, you are going to Kerala. But then they'll say, no, 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 I take you along. So, don't get into those fish fights. Fall in love with God secretly. Manage your life. First, inside, you become happy inside. When you start like becoming so happy, they're like, hey, why are you looking so happy? Nothing. Nothing. No, no, you have to tell me. Okay, Baba, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. So do not go and impart this knowledge immediately on the relatives and tell them that, now, like you go in an office meal, office lunch, and somebody's eating burger. Like, 3600. Multiply. That person will be saved, but you may not be left with the job. So be careful. So, how basically you manage your other life, the regular life in such a way that you are secretly in love with God. That is the best option. And pray for the other people. Feed them prasadam. Give them Bhagavad Gita. And they should not even know how you came to Hare. Like one of my office friends, after he became first initial devotee, one day he's asking me, Prabhu, whatever happened, was it your design or it just happened? It has to be that simple. The person should not know you are working on them, but you should be continuously working on them and continuously praying for them. That is the real match. They should not even know what happened. That is how you play. If you go attack from the front, you are going to get a lot of resistance. Don't do that. Be secret. Because in love, you are supposed to be allowed to be secret. Yes? But it is the highest love. Falling in love with Krishna is the highest love. Yes?
So it is the way to get the moksha, the way that you explain now. Or
ABCDE
yes.
is guarantee for moksha. Just C out of that will get you moksha.
Yeah, that's Niskayuga, right?
Yeah.
Only that. Oh,
Yeah. This is the so 100%. This is guaranteed, money back guarantee. Who did not speak? Sham Sundar speaking.
Hi, Guruji, Shyam Sundar here. So thanks for the call and follow-up. This session hit me very hard. My fundamentals are broken today. Uh, I have a biggest problem. I compare myself with others. Okay, I'm eating less meat when compared to them. No intoxication, uh, no gambling and illicit sex. So I thought I'm the best in my group. So I always think myself like that. Okay, whoever I compare, I'm the best. So what happened last few years? I'm always thinking I'm the best. I never progressed personally in my personal life. Staying at the same place, the same thought process for a very long time, what happened? It started rotting inside me. Now that ABCD, that kind of hit me hard. So I'm not doing all those things, not much, but I never took that next step. That is the biggest problem I see myself. Thinking always best, but never took the next step where this class bridge that gap, that ABCD association. I'm just coming here for my daughter Vedic class. I will start coming for myself going forward. Books I never read, these kind of books. I will start reading Srimad Bhagavatam at least. C for chant, I feel very shy to say it loud. I always do it in my mind. I will try to change it. Prasadam D, I'm eating it. Association, sorry, engagement service. I will do it. I'm doing on and off. I will try to do it more. So this was the best session, at least for me.
Please give me that. I've done 35 batches. I cannot show you more than 35 devotees who became devotees. Every batch has that one topper. I do not know who that is right now. Each one of you gets to decide who is that topper. those who open their heart. Message is ready. Thank you, Shamsi. Any other questions, comments? Not?